Hey guys, we're back from Printing United and we're tired.
Tired, weary, peopled out.
10 total podcasts and you're about to see them. So, without further ado, roll that intro.
Cheers.
We're about to hop into that episode, but first we want to talk about our sponsors.
Without these sponsors, our podcast wouldn't be possible. So, first up is Monarch Color, our favorite ink ever.
Yep.
We talk about it all the time.
Yes, we do.
It's very opaque, easy to use, easy to train your printers on, and it makes your printers' lives easier.
So if you want to check out what we use and what a lot of people use in the industry, it just does what it needs to do, does what it's supposed to do. Check out monarchcolor.com.
And if you're looking for a place to buy Monarch ink, that would be our friends over at Blue Ridge Screen Products. Aaron and Rebecca over there, they carry Anatol presses, GSF screens, Monarch Color ink.
Yeah, they carry water base, all kinds of different things. All the supplies you need for your shop. They are experts, have a lot of knowledge, and they partner with your shop, not just sell you something. So check out Aaron and Rebecca at Blue Ridge Screen Products at blueridgescreenproducts.com.
Use last call 10 for 10% off your order.
That's right.
And last but not least, CoreChem.
CoreChem is a chemical company for screen printing chemicals. We found out at the Printing United that they do a lot more than that.
Yeah,
so
I had no idea.
Yeah, so check out CoreChem.
And those are some really fun guys to hang with.
Really fun guys to hang with.
So call Barry, call Jason. They'll help you out with all your screen printing chemical needs. And last but not least, again, PMI tape, our favorite tape in the industry. It is great for doing what it's supposed to do, holding in place throughout your print runs without any leakage or sticky residue after.
That's right. So get some PMI tape. It's tape for screen printers.
And now on to the episode.
Well, we have a treat today. We have Fun Size Frank from Graphic Screen Fashion.
Really?
You weren't expecting that.
I'm right here. I can hear you.
Fun size.
And this is a special one too. It's your first podcast ever,
It's
which
your first
I
podcast.
cannot
It is my
believe.
first podcast.
Like, you know a lot of people in this industry. We have a lot of mutual friends, and no one has ever roped you into this before.
Yeah, that might be a good thing though.
I'm going to say I'm probably the best salesperson ever because I got him on this.
Yes, you did. You convinced him because when I
Kudos.
first showed up, I didn't think he was gonna. But so Frank. Where are you from? What's your business?
I'm with Graphic Screen Fashion in Chicago, Illinois. Well, South Elgin, Illinois.
Okay.
And we are screen service. Mm-hmm. We provide new screens, remesh services for all the screen printers across the country.
Yeah.
What else? So you're also a supplier as well, right?
Yeah, we supply all the screen chemicals, machinery,
Awesome.
just about everything you need before you get the press.
Okay. And people can buy directly from you,
Yes, they can buy directly
and then
from us.
also through distributors.
Yes.
Awesome. So tell me Graphic Screen Fashion, that has a lot more to do with graphics than it does anything
No, I think
originally
the name came from the Benettis, Frank and Rocky Benetti.
Yep.
The name came from, I think, their father. They'd been in the industry for a long time.
Yeah? How long?
I think 30 plus years
Wow.
before, might be longer than that.
Yeah.
I'm kind of speaking out of my element.
Sure, no,
I
that's
don't know
good.
exactly how far it goes back, but that's the name that they had, and they stuck with it.
Awesome.
And I was talking to Frank Benetti, and he said that, it was like, well, we were into a lot more graphic size screens, like the larger format graphics.
Yeah, we can stretch any size screen that you could imagine. I mean, if you can get it there in a truck, I wouldn't put it past Frank to be able to stretch it.
Awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, their display, did you see their display when you were over
I
there?
did. It's very impressive.
Massive.
I
Yeah,
would
huge
love to
screen.
have one with our pictures on it. Like, take the T-shirt and put it on there.
I'm going to pass on the pictures.
Yeah.
There's something uncomfortable about having pictures of yourself on and wearing the shirts around. I just don't know.
Most definitely.
This is the first shirt we got for the podcast, and so I thought it would be funny to wear it today to our first trade show for the podcast too. But
So our friend over at CoreChem, Barry, has said, he's told us a lot of good things about you. as he's giggling over there.
So that
you
leads
you
me to
seem
believe
to-
how many is true.
Right. So the what he did say though is you have a transfer background or something. Tell us about your background. And are you a
I've
printing
spent
background?
probably a good part of my career in heat applied graphics transfers. I was a research and development printer for a long time.
Okay.
So I got to learn transfers, transfer paper, substrates, inside out, and backwards and forwards. Any way you want to cut it, I can probably help you figure it out.
Yeah. So what? So you run sales over there? Is that what you do? Or what?
No, we're in.
Graphic
For
screen.
graphic screen fashion.
Yeah, I'm a outside sales rep, and I cover Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, Tennessee. So I get around a little bit.
Yeah. And you've been married a long time. We talked about that.
Oh, yep, 30 years, same wonderful woman.
That's awesome.
So what's your impressions of coming to shows like this here in Atlanta? Is it a good thing for you guys, as a company, or is it?
I think it's a good thing. It's always good to connect with your customers, no matter where it is, whether it's Las Vegas or Long Beach or here. It just doesn't matter. It's good to connect with your customers. We like seeing our customers. Sometimes it's the only time that they get out and get to visit with their suppliers.
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing. We enjoy it.
Yeah, and I first met you in Long Beach at a show. That was crazy. The whole Long Beach thing is a massive show.
Yeah, Long Beach is a good one.
Then you came to our shop for the
Yep.
open house.
That's
and
where I
I
got
was there
to
for an
meet
open
you.
shop.
Yeah, that's awesome. So the fact that you're coming to customers, like what you just said, you like to go see customers. You do. You actually came and spent 2 days at my shop, which was awesome.
If there's anything that you can do to go see a customer, and if anyone reaches out and says, I need help with this, if you've been in the industry as long as I have, if you don't know the answer yourself, you know someone who does. Like I'll
Absolutely.
reach out to Barry or anybody else that if I don't know a question, I can get the answer.
Yep.
So I didn't know much about your screens before you were at Jeremy's open house, the Anatol open house. When was that? Like March or April?
That was February.
February. Oh gosh, this year has flown by.
Yeah, it's flown
but
by.
I didn't know much about your screens. But as soon as we had that show, I did implement your screens into my shop. And as soon as I tried them, I think I only bought 3 to 5 from Blue Ridge when I first started, and I used them one time. I threw out everything the next day. What makes y'all's screens so much better than everybody else in the industry?
So what we do is, I'll tell you, the best thing is our customer service. I think we're second to none in customer service. They take a really good care in how they make the screens. I say they, like I'm not part of it, but I'm not the guy making the screens. I'm out
Right.
there selling it.
Yep.
Frank and Rocky and Anthony, them guys do a tremendous job at making a quality screen. So we keep track of what we do for a specific customer. We give it, each time you get it the exact same way.
That's awesome.
We use quality everything, so it's
Yep.
quality mesh. We don't use any kind of Chinese mesh or any kind of weird mesh.
Yeah.
You know exactly what you're getting every time, and we stand behind our product. I think that's what keeps us apart from everybody else.
Yeah.
What's interesting is when you're walking around the show, so we're in the Anatol booth now, the Anatol Volt, they've got it on your manual, they've got it on an auto, they've got it on 2 autos. I walk around, I see your screens on every press in this place. So you guys are really, really popular. Business is going good for you guys then, I would assume.
Yeah, I think it is, and that's a testament to Frank Benetti and Rocky Benetti and them guys. They get out and they've been in the industry. They have relationships with a lot of manufacturers, good relationships, and they keep that up,
Yeah.
which I think is a good thing.
So I know that when somebody is having issues with screens, they're always talking about tension and those types of things. And then, is your emulsion over whatever that OEM meters and all of that. That's how I know you brought that up. You brought that to my attention about the emulsion side of things as well. So I appreciate the fact that you're not only going into a shop and helping them with making sure they got the good screens, but that they're actually putting the emulsion on correctly too, and things. It's all things are important, right?
Yeah, you don't know what you don't know until you realize I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And then if you can tweak every little piece
Yeah.
of the puzzle and make sure you get it correct, you'll have a better time. You'll have a better result.
Yeah.
You'll have an easier time getting to the end result, and a lot more fun doing it.
Correct. And I think people don't put enough value, or people that are starting out in the industry may not put enough value on like the starting piece of the printing of the apparel, which is the screen, the emulsion, the ink. Like if those things aren't dialed in first, you're going to make your life hell going forward
Right.
and trying to make your shirts look good. But if you start there, you're going to have an easier time. Your prints are going to look better, and you're going to enjoy your life a little bit more.
And it
along
can be
the
something
way.
as simple as tension. People don't realize like, oh, tension's not that important to me. No, it is important.
Yeah.
And the most important part is that you have, consistent tension through
Yeah.
each mesh.
Yep.
So if you have an 8-color job and you got 7 of your screens are at 20 newtons and you got one at 17, maybe, and hopefully it's not your first one down at 17.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not going to line that screen up.
Right.
You're not going to
It's
do
going to
it.
bounce. Yeah. Or
You could do
Move.
it, but you're
Yeah.
going to have a tough time.
Yeah.
You're going to have a subpar product,
yeah.
and it may affect your business. But if you can get all that stuff, that's what I mean by dialing it in.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you have everything consistent, and it's even with the ink, your viscosity of your ink, if you're doing an 8-color job, all that should be the same viscosity. They should all feel the same way when you put them in the screen.
Absolutely.
You'll have a better print, a more consistent print, by making everything consistent.
Yep. So, when we first got into your screens, we noticed, I saw it at Long Beach for the first time, and then we got them in the shop, was the fact that you had, the tapeless screens, you had the white sealants, the sealant on there as well. What are the benefits of a shop moving to something like that?
What it does, first of all, like the white seal, that adds about 25% to the life of the screen.
Wow.
Okay.
It keeps chemicals from attacking that glue from the inside.
Okay.
And then we have the sealant system. That's part of the sealant system. So we have a permanent block out on around the edge,
Right.
and that stops you from using tape. Tape, probably costs you more than $1 per screen to tape it.
Yep.
Labor putting it on, labor taking it off, and the price of the tape itself. So if you can eliminate that
Yeah.
and not put it in a landfill, and not spend your money on tape, it's just much better for the environment, much better for your shop because it's easier to do.
Yeah. Stop by our booth. We were giving away free tape from our sponsor, PMI.
I'm right here. I can hear you.
We do love some tape too.
I'm joking.
And if that works for you, by all
No,
means.
that's right.
No,
There's-
but I
it's
do
different
like the
structures.
coating around the outside to not use as much tape.
Yeah, it's
too.
nice to have options.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's certainly not for everyone, but
It's a really
if you don't
good
try it, you don't know.
good point towards sustainability, which
Yes.
is very much trending in the apparel industry right now. That conversation keeps coming up. What other kind of things is your company doing to promote sustainability in the industry, or what
That's
things
probably
are
the
you
biggest.
seeing?
That's
Say
probably
that's-
the biggest thing.
that's big.
Is
Yeah.
the industry's, a lot of things have stayed stagnant for the longest time. I think we're one of the few people that do that, and it has evolved from the time he started it, probably 10 years ago, maybe a little longer. It's evolved to get better and last longer. Other than that, it just helps the environment. That part does.
Yeah.
Other things than that, it's left to a lot of other people to deal with.
Yeah, awesome.
So I know there's newbies out there that just get whatever screens from whatever shop.
Please don't do that, guys.
I know, yeah. And so what would you, again, some advice for new people getting into screen printing or people that don't know about your product? What's some advice you can give them about making sure?
I think just come to shows when you get a chance. Come to a show, see what's out there, see what works for you, and whether you're printing in a garage or you got a big shop, with 18 presses or whatever. Come to a show, see what else is out there, and see what works for you and what fits in your shop.
Yeah. And so I know I went and coached a screen printing shop that didn't even really understand mesh counts at all, right?
Wow.
And,
Mesh counts are hard.
Mesh counts are hard. Yeah. So is there an ideal place that you like if somebody calls you guys and says, I really don't know what I need, are you coaching them through
So
that?
the rule of thumb is, and there is some argument about, some people say they use 4.0. I always use 3.5. So it's the line count, the
Okay.
LPI or the DPI
The-
times 3.5 equals your mesh.
Okay, that's a
right?
great tip.
And you round up.
Okay.
So if it lands at 140 or something like that, or say 148, you kind of round up to the 160. That's the best. It's a rule of thumb. So you try it, you can bump up another mesh, but once you find something that works, stick with that. There's all kinds of different options. Like if someone's using a dither or a stochastic dot, you really got to do some math to figure that out, and all that information's available on the internet. So So look it up, and then your angle.
Yep. The squeeze.
Everybody says that there's
angle of the-
there's secrets to angles.
Yeah.
It's use flexo angles is probably the best thing to do, and that's a good starting point. And
Yeah.
you can change those angles by 7 degrees either
Yeah.
way, as long as you do all of them that way.
At what point are you advising people to go to like thin thread versus standard thread?
If you're doing a first down and you got to hit it twice, you may want to look at a thin thread for your first downs.
Okay.
That's going to lay down a little more ink.
Okay.
It actually says it lays down less ink, but you would argue that with me when you see it on the
Right.
on
Yeah.
the shirt. You're going to go, oh, that lays down a lot more ink. That's a good thing. You can do a one hit.
Maybe the
and
coverage
go.
is better.
Yeah, the coverage
Yeah,
is a
and
little
I
bit
think
better.
that's the myth, is that it's only for thin threads, only for water base, or it's not. It's only for and
Oh, I've
vice
used it
versa.
for a
Yeah, I've
while.
used it as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I have some customers that use it on all their colors. It's not just the first down, and they love it. It's a little more fragile, so it's something that you got to be aware of, and you got to have good habits. Basically.
Yeah, you're getting bigger dots too, I would think, because your thread's thinner, but it's the same.
I
dot
don't know
count.
that changes too
You don't
much.
sub-
I mean,
okay.
because the line count is still the same,
Okay,
so the thread count's still the same. But
but the ink
when
flows
you start
better.
to put something on there,
Yeah,
try it and see.
yeah. We use thin thread for a lot of
Yeah.
our screens. Yeah.
So, like you were saying, you have to get used to the thin thread. What kind of tips can you give someone just starting out with thin thread screens, not to bust their screen or anything
Yeah,
like
it's
that?
just like I said, it's good habits. You don't lean them up against the corner of everything.
Right.
If you don't take care of your normal screens, thin threads are not going to work for you anyway.
Yeah.
But it's basically good habits of keeping everything either on a rack or in a straight line, so it's up against flat areas. Don't pull your screen out and set it on the top of the press to try and clean it out. I've seen a lot of printers do that. That's probably not going
That's
to
a
work.
weird place to put it.
No, yeah. I think the
You'll
biggest thing
see
is
it, but just take care of it.
I think the biggest thing too is people take their screens and they'll just let them fall into another screen or something, and then
Yeah.
a corner hits and you're like, pop. Oh, yeah.
Well, if you have a well-tensioned screen, you're going to have problems with your normal screens also.
Yeah.
Not just thin thread, but it's just magnified with thin thread.
Yeah. The other thing is when they're pressure washing the screens, like not to get too close to them, to the thin thread screens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you feel like your durabilities, is the durability different on a thin thread? Obviously, is that what we're talking about? But like, is it a washout booth issue as well? Like
No, I don't
certain
think
types
so.
of
I mean, you can use it across
stick
the
it
board.
through an in pro and it's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You can stick it through an Impro or any other wash systems. The good thing about that sealant system, though, in those type of machines, you're not adding tape to it.
Right.
If you don't get all that tape
That's
off,
true.
someone's not paying attention, and you get tape down in one of the machines, you could have a flood.
Yeah, and so that to be real about the things when the system there, what are you calling it, the red stuff?
Oh, the sealant system?
Sealant
The
system.
sealant
Yeah, your sealant system. So when you're taking it in a normal washout booth, you're going to get that spray back because it's not passing through what would normally be the tape. You take the tape off.
Yeah.
It's just like having tape on, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
So-
thing to do is kind of put it at an angle.
Yep. That's
I
what
don't
I was
mean
going
to
to say.
interrupt you, but
No, that's all right.
Put
No.
it at an angle or kind of set it down.
Yep.
And if you if you have your screen kind of down a little bit, you're angling down, and if you got an apron on or something like
Yeah,
that,
definitely
you're
wear an
kinda good
apron.
to deflect that. But
And that's just a learning thing, right? You have to
Yeah.
adapt
Yeah.
to different processes when you're adding new things to your shop. So
Yeah, definitely.
So, not screen related, what's your favorite piece of equipment that you've seen at the show or you've seen in somebody's shop recently, or what's intriguing to you?
I do got to say one of my favorite presses I think is the Anatol press.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that just because we're sitting here kind of in
How
an
much
Anatol
did they pay
booth.
you?
No, what I like is I like being able to change the pressure and the speed
Yeah.
on a single head.
It's
So you
awesome.
can do your first pass at a lower speed and the second pass at maybe a quicker speed, and change the pressure also, which I don't know what other presses do that,
Yeah.
but
Not many.
I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All of the salespeople are smiling right now.
Well,
Yeah.
it's
Okay,
also
They're like,
it's
"We
one of
love
the quietest
Frank."
presses that I've seen. And no, they didn't pay me any money. I just think I think it's a feature that I like. I think
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
it's pretty slick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing is the quietness of it. That's what I always hear. Yeah. That's
And
a
I
big-
think
that's a
too,
big
for the
factor.
price point of this press compared to other presses of comparable size, like the features are amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you're getting. So
Yeah. Cool. Well, I really appreciate you taking time. I know this
I
was
appreciate
maybe
you.
a little scary
it
for
bad?
you. It wasn't too bad, was it?
That wasn't too bad. I mean, yeah.
well,
Yeah.
wait till dinner tonight.
Yeah. Yeah. We will not have microphones at that.
It's all good. I appreciate you guys inviting us, and if there's anything we can do for you.
Oh yeah,
let us
we
know.
absolutely appreciate you guys. And yeah, Frank, is there any way we can get a hold of you that you can put it out there to the screen printers if they want to get a hold of you?
GraphicScreenFashion.com or frank.com. I think it's
love
5
that.
F's.
But
Frank.com.
you are not that Frank.
No, I'm not that Frank. I'm the fun
I had
size
to
Frank.
learn that.
You have 210 pounds of the
That's
fun
a
size.
t-shirt. That's a t-shirt. Fun size, Frank. All right. Well, thank you so much, Frank. And
Thank you guys. I appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Frank.
All right. Cheers, everyone.